This is video 4, again, of Critique of Pure Reason by Immanuel Kant. Again, the 4 Antimonies. Again, going through these 4 points, and this time I'd like to confirm actually what Kant believed. In the first one I did what I believed. The second one was from the view of like objectivist Ayn Rand type of view. The third was from a modern science view, and now I'm going back to what Kant came up with. So in Space and Time, again, he had a thesis and an antithesis. He stated that there must be a beginning to time, because if there was an infinite amount of time, no beginning to time, that how could an infinite series get to the point where we exist today? So in both the thesis and antithesis, he pretty much goes back to there must have been a beginning to time, and especially as it relates to the phenomenal world in which we live. Moving on to atomism, where there's simple parts or no simple parts. In final analysis, I think he would say there's no simple parts, because he came up with the concept of noumena. He came up with the phenomenal world in which we perceive, but then also a noumena below it, its real nature, which we could never perceive or understand, that there was a transcendence. So since our mind was limited, and we live in the phenomenal world, we could never understand this noumenal world below it, transcending, that the things in themselves were beyond our conception. So given that he does both, the phenomenal and the noumena, at the end of the day, I would say he did not believe in simple parts, because he went back to the noumena, which was this transcendent nothingness that the mind could never understand. The most interesting of all of them, which this question of determinism and freedom, number 3, is when you look at the thesis and antithesis, and if I can find them, I'll read them. I probably can't read them, can't find them in the book right now. But the one thesis is everything is cause and effect, everything is determinism. That's the Newtonian world. The second antithesis is that there's determinism, but there's also possibly some freedom and some free will. It's either one of these two: determinism completely by the laws of nature, from the first mover all the way through, everything can be understood, everything has a cause and effect. But what's interesting, again, is this antithesis is he doesn't go down to what I put here as 3C. Pure free will just would be the contrary to determinism. If there was pure free will, that would be the opposite. That would seem to be what the antithesis should be. But he was so stuck on this phenomenal world which we live that he said the antithesis being determinism plus a little bit of free will. So there was the laws of nature, but that man could have an impact on the world as well. So I just thought that was interesting, that the thesis and antithesis that he picked here, whereas if you went to really the way the antithesis should have been stated, in my mind, is that there would be pure free will. pure freedom to the universe. And this would be more like the Eastern Zen Buddhism type philosophies, where there is absolute freedom, nirvana, possibly even John Paul Sartre in his nothingness, that there is this pure freedom out there that escapes the bounds of the phenomenal world. But he did not even consider that as a possibility. I just thought that was amazing. The fourth one was God. Is there a God, yes or no? In final analysis, he says yes. It's better to believe in God than not to. He believes this is an unknown, again, because of transcendence, noumena, things that are beyond our conception. But at the end of the day, he says, why not? It's better to believe in God, kind of just in case. So that's a summary again of Immanuel Kant's four Antimonies. This concept here again, going back to the phenomenal and noumena world, it's just kind of interesting that he came up with that. And it's just kind of this spiritual world that lives below the phenomenal world. And this has come under a lot of criticism, especially by Ayn Rand. She would stay completely in this phenomenal world, and this is just based on faith and speculation, and she wouldn't believe in any of this stuff down here.